I'm back.
Help me.
What is up?
Everything. Well, everything's up to you.
Is that a short joke, man? That's kind of mean.
No, that was just a little joke. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeremy Big Things.
And I'm Scott Little Thing. You know how bad that sounds? They nicknamed me Little Thing. Like, I mean, come on, man.
It wasn't my idea. It was not my idea.
I mean, try to go up and introduce yourself to somebody. Hi, I'm Scott Little Thing Wilson. They're going to be like, yeah, we heard. You know what I'm saying, man? I mean, come on.
Oh, man. But just think of the comedy aspect of it.
Oh, well, I know. Well,
we're going to have a little bit of comedy in these things, you know. Welcome back. We missed you last week.
Thank you, brother. It was a little bit of time off with the family, you know, and had some things I had to deal with, but yeah. Definitely got to spend some good time with the family. So
that is good. And now you're back.
And now I'm back, dude, refreshed, and you know it's going to be a great night. Got awesome guests. It's going to be good for me. I don't know about him, but it's definitely going to be nice.
Yes. You know, I'll tell you what, we got an exciting show tonight. I've been looking forward to this one for a little while now. But first, before we do that, we have some birthday shout-outs that we wanted to do.
Yeah, we definitely got a birthday shout-out.
Yeah. Today is actually one of my best friends' birthday. Her name is Elaine, so I want to do a shout-out to her.
Happy birthday, Elaine. And Sunday, we have Priscilla from the Ravens Paranormal over in the Netherlands. So her birthday is Sunday. So I want to wish you both happy birthday. I want to give a shout out to Betsy Smith, Brent and Emma's daughter. She got an award at school today. She's been working really hard and got an award today. So Betsy, hey, congratulations. We're proud of you. Keep up the good work and keep just working hard. And for me, since it will be past when we come on next Friday, to all active military and veterans, I just want to say next Wednesday is Veterans Day. So from one veteran to another, happy Veterans Day. And thank you guys for everything that you've done for us.
Absolutely.
It means the world to us. So.
Yes. And also, tomorrow, Things is back in action.
We are, dude. I am stoked. I am excited, ready to.
We are going back to one of my favorite locations, the old Lake County Sheriff's House and Jail in Crown Point, Indiana. I personally have been there, I think, 3 times already this year alone. And tomorrow's going to be the 4th time.
Yeah, it'll be my 2nd time going back, and dude, it's amazing. I cannot wait, and I'm excited because my son gets to come along with me, dude.
That's right.
I know he's looking forward to it. So
yeah, and I've investigated with Aiden, and also along with Aiden, we're going to have some more youth investigators with us. Tim and Crystal's the engine behind us.
Yes.
Their children are going.
Mason and Michaela, dude. And it's going to be a good time, dude. It really is. Plus, we got Shadow Seekers from Wabash with us.
That's right. Some of my dear friends, Corey, Amanda, Christy, Deanna, Kimmy, all 5 of them are going to be out there with us tomorrow night as well.
Dude, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So
it is. And we are going to be going live. On the new Things Universal page. We're going to be going live a couple of times and show some techniques, and also show how we're working with the younger generation, because anybody who knows me, they know that I am a big
dog whistle person.
I wasn't even going to say that. Okay. No, I am a big supporter of helping building the younger generation, because they're the ones who are going to be continuing on with the paranormal field after we're all on.
Absolutely, dude. And, you know, what better way than to get them in and
start them out young.
Start them out young, man.
Yep. So meanwhile, before we get into that, one last thing. On last week on Halloween, tickets finally were released for the Paranormal Relief Project.
Yes.
And this is our way of saying thank you to all of the first responders who basically put their lives on the line all year round. And just can't think of a better way to thank them and give them a free paranormal experience.
Absolutely. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I believe it's at everbright.com where you can get those tickets. I think so.
You can go to eventbrite.com.
That's it.
You can, there are links everywhere, and each location has its own specific link. And you do not have to go to the one that is closest. You can go to any of them. And they are all over the country. I want to say that there was I think 30.
Yeah, dude. There's a crazy amount, dude.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. Tori and you guys have just done an awesome job with it, man. To pay back the respect for all these workers and first responders and stuff. It's just absolutely amazing.
It's going to be a great event. It's going to be a very unique event. I'm really looking forward to that. May 1st next year, Saturday night. So now we have a special guest this week.
We got an awesome guest, dude.
Yes, we do.
I haven't had a chance to go and hang with him in New York, but dude, it's coming. I guarantee.
I had the chance and it didn't happen.
That's because he probably didn't like your face.
Yeah, you're probably right. He is the second member from Trinity to be on our show. And we are very, very happy and excited to have him out here. Let's bring him on, Mr. Chris Nuara. Hi, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
What's up?
Did I say your last name right?
Nuara.
Nuara, okay.
Nuara.
Okay.
It sounds like there's a W, silent W in there.
Nuara.
Yeah, you did a whole lot better than me, dude.
Yeah, I don't think I even do with that.
I would have chopped that up, dude.
Yeah.
I'd have chopped it up.
What would you have said?
Nura.
I don't think that would have worked.
Nuara.
So how you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing really good.
Excellent, man. Good.
Yeah. Very excited for. He is sitting on a cushion to make himself look taller.
You got the booster seat going?
Yeah. Yeah, we can always bring a little buddy in there.
We use the high chair one day too. Ooh.
That'll be an interesting show. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris.
Well, when I was younger, I grew up in a haunted house. Like my pretty much, nobody really. It really happened to just me and my brother. My brother a little less, but like my mom, she believed that I believed it. She didn't really. I mean, she said she admitted years later that there was a couple of weird things that happened, but she always just thought it was like something explainable. But my grandfather also it was my grandfather's house, and he had a lot of experiences, but she used to tell me about. So it's pretty much I know my mom has actually got when I was a kid got me psychiatric help and stuff like that, and that's pretty much why like later on in years I tried to get I started about probably when I was about 19, and going there was a psychiatric hospital near me that it was still functioning, but there was a whole area that was older that it was all run down. We used to have a little split in the fence, and we used to hide go in there, and I would go with those old tape recorders, but you had to put the little tape in.
Yeah.
And that's actually where I got my first EVP. And so then I honestly started doing it just to make sure I wasn't crazy, because I didn't know, but maybe I was crazy, So and then later on, then I found out, and then all the shows started after that a couple years later, and then I started to realize there was more people into this, and then I started investigating. I mean, I really didn't join a team up until I was on not on another team, but I was working with another team who was actually a guy who's ordained by the church, the Catholic, I guess the Catholic Church. It's not the same one as the Rome. It's like it's the same one, but it's not. They don't. I don't know. It's weird. And he was ordained by a deacon, and he actually does like cleansings and deliverances on people.
Okay.
And then in 2018, I went on to, and then he wasn't really doing it all the time. It was like maybe twice a year, 3 times a year. And I really wanted to get more involved. So I started to look, and there was a couple of groups that, I talked to before Trinity, but then Trinity got in touch with me, and it was right after a Nick Groff tour.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, you know what? I really want to get, I want to be on a team, and I want to help people so they don't feel like I felt like when I was younger. Besides being scared, I thought maybe I was crazy. I didn't know. And so yeah, that's pretty much, why I started looking for a team. I mean, I worked with other people too. Like, I would go, not like with investigators, but like, with people that were interested in it. We would go to different places, abandoned, buildings that were supposedly haunted in our hometowns. And, because I grew up in Queens, New York. I live in Long Island now, but I grew up in Queens. And so there was, a lot of abandoned buildings around there. And we would just go in there and, started more like it was exploring, exploring. So that's my story of how I got into it.
So how did you end up getting together with Trinity?
With Trinity?
Yeah.
I just contacted them, one day. They weren't looking. It wasn't like they were actually looking for somebody. And I had seen them, and it was like a New York registry of different groups on Long Island and all of New York. So I looked on there to see, because I've been researching it for years. I read all the Lorraine Warren, Ed and Lorraine Warren books, all the Holsier books, and a whole bunch of I would just constantly read because I'm a big reader. I watched all the TV shows, all that stuff. I mean, TV shows, I'm talking more about like the documentary kind of stuff, like, because when I started, it wasn't really shows like that. It didn't start until what was that, Paranormal State? It's like, one of the first shows, and then Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and all those shows came on. But so one day I just contacted them, and they contacted me back, and then they said they were interested in me. So then I don't know what happened. It was like a couple months went by. I guess they were had been busy, doing regular life stuff, and then I didn't think it was going to work out. So one day I was like, you know what, let me try to contact them one more time. And I contacted them. And then that's when Phil and Kat got in touch with me and said that, we'll meet at the diner, about halfway where our houses were. And, we'll see what happens. And I went there. They liked me. They had already been following me, because before that, I really wasn't doing it to, like, put out evidence. Trust me, I have, like, so much crap on my computer that I never put out, because it was just years of collecting, different data, like mostly audio. I mean, I've caught some cool stuff on video and pictures and stuff, but I try not to put that kind of stuff out because it's so controversial. You always have like 20 people like, nope, that's not paranormal. Nope. And at that time, I was a very angry person. I would really get mad. And like now, I don't really care. Like, yeah, if you want to believe that, go ahead. Just keep scrolling. Then like there's no reason why I got to say something.
Right.
Like if it's paranormal, just call me up on the side and say something. No, why you gotta like they're like. I saw something with a friend. I'm not going to say who it was, but I saw somebody like put something out. He wasn't trying to say it was definitely paranormal. He was just putting it out there. And somebody's like, "Oh, I call bullshit on that." I'm like, "Why would you just keep scrolling? Why do you gotta like?" And then I actually looked at the guy's page. This guy's never been a paranormal investigator. He's what I'm saying? Like, so this is guys that probably watches Ghost Hunters, and thinks he's now all of a sudden he's an expert. He's never done anything,
Right.
So I'm like, so how do you know it's bullshit if you never even, where's your scientific proof that it is? I don't know. So that's how we got onto Trinity. And then actually, even before we even did an investigation, we went on a podcast. It wasn't a podcast. It was like a local radio, like on it's the one that you went on, Jeremy.
Okay.
Wadio Radio.
Yeah.
Wade. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went on there, and then I ended up going out with them, that night to go to a cemetery to do an investigation. That was the first time we investigated together. And then pretty much there, we've been now. Me and Kat have been on like hundreds of investigations together.
Yeah, that's all. I just love that girl. I do.
Kat.
Yeah, I mean, she is just awesome. She showed me around a lot when I was over there.
That's what I'm saying. I need to get over there, man. You know, meet Chris and Kat and the team. I mean,
we ought to take a road trip and make these guys one of our stops.
Dude, we should so do that, man.
Yeah. So you hear that, Kat? Phil? We're threatening you. We're coming.
Gotta get my booster seat, though. I need a booster seat.
Yeah, you do. And he actually has one.
Yeah, you know, Chris, I love the way you brought up when you was talking about being younger, how everybody thought it was a psychological thing. Because I remember that going through different instances of paranormal stuff and saying something to my parents about it, but they just blew it off like it really was nothing. I mean, but now you look at today, it's more of an acceptable thing, I guess I'm saying, you know. So,
because I remember back in the day, people would openly mock you, and there are still some people that do that.
There is.
Yeah. So, you know, I just gotta take it as it is, you know. So our topic today is team dynamics. And I got to say, your team, you guys seem to have it put very well together. So what's the secret behind Trinity?
We're pretty much, you know, we're family. You know, we talk all the time. Kat's like one of my best friends. Phil is one of my best friends, although he's, you know, had to take a leave because of family issues, but he's in and out, you know. Martha is like family. Courtney, you know, she just started investigating a couple months ago, and she's great. She's awesome on social. Everybody loves her on social media. Obviously, you know, she's one of the moderators for Punty.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like it's our team is just great. I mean, we work well together. We're on the same page. I mean, we're obviously a Christian-based group, so that all, you know, it works well for us, and you know, we're on the same page with that. Like we're praying, and you know, we don't call out spirits. We don't, you know, unless we hear the name, we don't usually mention names or anything like that. So we feel like that's kind of like, you know, like if you start saying like, oh, you know the history, and you know most people have gotten EVPs of somebody's name, and then now you're asking for that name. You know, we don't usually do that.
Yeah, good.
We just work well together. I don't know why. Just do.
Yeah. Okay. So what kind of qualities do you guys look for in team? I know you're probably not bringing on any new members, but let's say, for example, when you hopped onto your team, what kind of qualities were they looking for? I mean, obviously you have it all.
Well, obviously, first of all, you have to be a Christian to be on our group, because it's just one of the things you have to, you know, pretty much like just the same, you know, Christian values. You can't drink, or you can't drink or do any kind of drugs before an investigation. What you do on your own time. Yeah, I think it's like a 72 hours. You can't have a drink or smoke marijuana or anything like that, which is not a problem with me because I don't do any of that. So, you know, it wasn't ever a problem. Obviously, we want their faith to be good, because sometimes we do go into darker hauntings where something could attach to somebody. And, you know, if, you know, somebody, like, we try to, like, if, you know, somebody's like having a bad day, we might not want to take them on the investigation. We need people to have cars, because we don't want to have to, you know, if we're going on to like a resident, because we're mostly residential. I mean, we do a lot of other stuff, but that's mostly more for research. But when we go on a residential, we like to have people have their own cars. I mean, we will pick people up, you know, so that we carpool if it's on the way and stuff like that. It usually works out. Unless we're going on a road trip, then usually I'm the driver. And
That's pretty much how it is to me. I'm always the driver.
It's because you're the only one driving in your car.
Yeah, but I have people ride with me. All right. So, okay. One thing I do want to bring up, you've already touched on some of it, talking about there's 72 hours, nobody can drink or do marijuana or anything like that beforehand. What other rules do you guys go by that you have for the investigations?
You know, to obviously always be polite to the client. We don't use Ouija boards. We don't do seances. You know, we don't conjure spirits. We don't do, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, obviously, that's for a Christian. That's kind of against what we are. You know, our values. You know, we're always professional. You know, like we did a case recently. The last case, we're still on it. We're still working on it. We're actually working with a priest as well on that one. You know, we wore our masks when we were in there. Like, you know, obviously for the client. I mean, she wasn't really strict about that. She didn't care if we wore it, but we were on and off with it. You know, when we were asking questions, we had it off, but we would always have it here and put it up and down. You know, we kept, besides us, because we're always together anyway, so, you know, we kept 6 feet apart from the client. You know, we try to, I mean, a lot of times the client gets involved in the investigation, you know, and obviously we don't want to scare them, so we try to leave out any EVPs that might sound negative to them. We don't want to put it out there and all of a sudden like, oh my God, I'm moving, you know, like, you know. And then, you know, of course, we always try to debunk first. We always want to make sure, you know, there's no, you know, high EMF levels in the house that, you know, be causing hallucinations. New thing I wanted to do, actually, we haven't implemented. We haven't started using it yet. I wanted to do the CO2. Carbon monoxide. You know, carbon monoxide detector, because I've heard that also could cause hallucinations and stuff like that. We want to make sure that it's not something in the house, the plumbing, you know, simple things like that.
Right.
You know, we always want to, you know, make sure they understand what's going on when we do find paranormal. You know, obviously, like, you know, if it's something that's dark in nature, we try not to let them know right away, and then, you know, because we don't want them like panicking, feeding into it and making it worse, you know. And we will never provoke the spirits either, because we don't want, you know, because then we leave and then it gets worse. We don't do that. Just try to be, because, you know, most of the times it's just a regular spirit, you know. And, you know, a lot of times they're just trying to contact them. Like, they're trying to get their attention. Can't. So they do these things and people get scared of it, you know. So we have to kind of calm them down, always respectful. And that's pretty much it with that.
Okay.
I know Brent and Emma wanted to know what your scariest encounter is.
My scariest encounter. I was in the Hinsdale house. The first time I was there, I was on it wasn't an overnight. It was like just like a tour kind of thing, but like, you know, like an investigation. Kind of like what they do with like you know, all the paranormal groups do now. Like, they have, like, you know, the where I went with the Tennessee Rape Chasers or Nick Groff. And I happened to go, it was in between, you know, they took a break. And I ended up, you know, I went and smoked a cigarette. And I went upstairs. Let me go upstairs before everybody else comes in the house. And I went into the most haunted room. It's called Mary's room, where Nick Groff or Dan Class, who owns the house, won't sleep in. At least they say that. They won't sleep in it. You know, Nick Groff was on in that house, Paranormal Lockdown. And I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden I got like this heaviness in my chest, and like all of a sudden I could not speak or move. It was almost like sleep paralysis, but I was, you know, I'm sitting in the bed, I'm not sleeping, like I couldn't move, and then this really dark shadow, almost like 3D, It wasn't like just like a shadow going against the wall. This was like, I can't even explain it. It was just like it walked into the room, walked right up to me, and like it was a little bit shorter, so it was kind of like my eye level, and it like looked, and it had like these little slits for eyes. Like all you could see is this little yellow dim light in it, and then I couldn't move. I was like, not that I wasn't scared, but like I was like I couldn't move, like I was like paralyzed, and then it moved, and then it kind of like dissipated a little bit, and it started to move away. Like it was weird. It didn't turn around and like walk away. It kind of like backed up, like it floated away, and then I could start moving again. And I'm like, holy crap, what the heck did I just see? And then it started to walk past back and forth back in the room, and every time it come to the door, it stopped, and like you could see it like turn its head. It was so creepy. It was almost like what people would call the Hat Man. You ever heard of that? Yeah, but it didn't have a hat. It was just a dark, black shape that moved in the middle of the room. Like it wasn't going against the wall. It actually walked into the room. And I guess that would probably be my scariest. But I can't say I was scared, but I didn't know what the heck was going on. Like, because it's like, I guess when you're straight, like, imagine like, being broke, you're like laid up in bed or in like a hospital and you can't move. And like somebody's trying to like, kill you, like that kind of feeling. Not like scared, like where I was like of the paranormal kind of thing. Because the honest truth, the paranormal doesn't really scare me too much. It's more people that scare me.
Right.
That's what I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to Letchworth Village tomorrow, and that, I'm going by myself. So I'm a little nervous about the people coming in and stuff like that. And I'm not really more worried about the spirits because yes, there could be something dark there because I feel like the negative entities feed off of, that the negativity that happened there, like all that energy that was left there, they feed off that. Because those children, they were abused. They tested the first polio vaccine on a 12-year-old kid. And when he didn't die, they tested it on like 18 other people. So, I mean, there's a lot of negativity there. There was abuse. There was, those kids were guinea pigs for these doctors, So there was a point in where they were overcrowded, where the kids they didn't have enough money to clothe these kids. They would be sitting there butt naked. They hardly, they ate. They gave them like they would scarf the food down their throats. Some people actually died from it, from choking on the food. They used to have one spoon for all these kids with different medicines that they would give them, and they used the same spoon. So, I mean, it was terrible. What's that famous reporter, Geraldo Rivera, I think his name is?
Yeah.
He did a story in the 80s about it. And it still was open even after they see what was going on there. It took them like 15 years to close it down. It closed down in 1996.
Even after he went out there and exposed them.
Yeah, even after they exposed them. It was a state-run facility. I couldn't even believe, like, how could you be a parent of somebody and just put them off into a home and never go see them? Like, I don't even understand that concept. No. I mean, I guess maybe times were different. I don't know. Because I was only, 96, around the 90s. I was a teenager. So, completely different times. Nowadays, they don't do that anymore.
No, I definitely wouldn't do that.
No, absolutely not.
No. Wow. So, will this be your first time going out there by yourself?
Oh no, I've been out there by myself before.
Yeah,
a few times actually. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to hearing about that.
Is there?
Yeah, I'll be going live on Trinity.
So, if you're going out by yourself, is there any precautions that you take yourself before you go out?
Well, besides, I always pray before and after, even sometimes during if I have to. Especially last time we were actually just there like 2 weeks ago, me and Kat, and after we did a prayer, we literally were something banging on the door. So I ran over to the window to see, and there was like a gap in between, and I couldn't even see There was nobody there. I looked everywhere. There was nobody outside the building or anywhere near it. And it was crazy. And the ball, I have one of those cat balls, the motion sensor balls. We have to touch them. And I had it in between, like on a piece of dirt. So there was no way for it to move. And that thing would they would touch it, it would go off. They would touch it again or whatever it was, touching it. And I moved it later on, and then it didn't go off anymore. And Kat, being a sensitive, she believed that whoever it was that was in the closet. She believed that they were scared of men. They were like afraid of men, whoever it was. Maybe they were abused or murdered by a man or something like that, or
Right.
Because they believe that they probably this was a dormitory for where they slept, and I'm wondering if like there was some kind of punishment thing for them, being put in the closet. I don't know. It was crazy though, man. We were getting crazy responses on the spirit box. There was noises. We were hearing footsteps. I was actually like I was touched a few times. We were hearing whispering. That place was so freaking haunted. And it's like nobody goes there. Only people go there are kids, like exploring, I mean, there are a couple of investigators that go, like obviously Ghost Adventures went there. But they had to get special permission to go. And I'm sure that they were sorry that they did that because, it probably, as soon as people saw, like, oh my God, I know that place. Let me go there if it's haunted, check it out. And they were probably getting kids going in there all the time.
Wow.
I want to go on an investigation with him, man. I'm just saying, bro.
I think we all do. You're just going to have to host an event for all of us.
Yeah, we definitely should. Maybe at the Hinsdale house.
I actually was able to take a brief tour of the Hinsdale house a couple months ago when I was over there in New York. I was doing it when I was on my way out. I stopped there. I was there, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 minutes. Got to meet Angel, the one who's kind of taking care of the place, I guess she is. And yeah, she let me have run of the whole place, and she even asked me if I wanted to go into the forest, in there for a little while, take pictures and do whatever. I really can't. I got to get going because I had a bit of a timeline. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten here. I was on a road trip, and I was actually able to stop at my house to sleep, which is unusual because that doesn't happen. It's always at a hotel.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I prefer to sleep at my house too.
I do too, but still, it's different.
Right.
So, okay, we do have a question for you concerning the residentials that you were talking about. How often do you guys follow up with the clients, and how soon do you follow up with them after you're done with the case there?
We always keep in contact with them, obviously, especially if they're scared. Like the last client we actually had, she literally was sleeping in her car. That's how scared she was.
Oh, wow.
And we actually deal more with her niece, which is actually friends with Kat. So we kind of deal with her with everything because she doesn't want but we always keep in contact anytime, as much as they want. Like if they, obviously if we go there and we get the evidence, but it takes, you know how it is. It takes a long time to get evidence. Sorry, my dog's like barking.
There's the dog.
Yeah, I have a dog with me because we take him everywhere with us. He's like my little baby. So yeah, we always keep in contact anytime, as much as they want. It takes a while to do the evidence. We keep in contact with them. As a matter of fact, that's what Courtney's been doing a lot, and Martha is very good with calming them down and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we go for the initial. We have a sheet that we ask the questions. The interview to see what the claims are and stuff like that, and then we come back for the investigation. And then after we get all the evidence, we go back and we explain it to them. And if they want the cleansing, we give them cleansing. You know, Kat does. That's Kat's category. And want the. You know, I attend obviously, but they're better at that kind of stuff. And and then, obviously sometimes, obviously cleansings don't always work right away. Sometimes it takes a couple times, and then we keep in contact with them and make sure that there's, no activity. And if there is, we go back and we try to cleanse again, or if they just want an investigation. A lot of times, some of them don't want the cleansing, like sometimes just knowing what's there and, they get less scared, or sometimes we debunk stuff I mean, even sometimes when there is paranormal activity, some of the stuff that they're claiming is something natural, even though there is paranormal there. We're there for the clients. We pretty much do what I wanted to have done when I was a kid. I wanted somebody to tell me I wasn't crazy and explain to me what paranormal was. Like, what the heck am I seeing? Like, when I was a kid, I didn't think about the afterlife and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up Catholic, so I didn't really go to church too much unless I had to. We were more of an Easter, Easter and Christmas Christians, where we went to mass just on Easter and Christmas, except for when I went to Sunday school, and then I had to go to get signed in. But we had to bring in, those little flyers that you get when you go to church. So I used to go there and grab that flyer, and then I would just leave and go hang out with my friends. You guys are frozen. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, everything's pixelated. It's kind of weird.
It is. What am I hearing?
You're hearing a dog outside too.
Okay.
All right. So has there ever been an instant where you guys have done that and you were like, really had to think about whether or not to reveal that evidence to a client?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, the case we're on right now, the lady was, as I said before, she was sleeping in a car. We're not showing her any of the evidence. Like, we're dealing with her niece, which is actually friends with Kat. So she's not scared of it. And so we're kind of just giving her the evidence and talking to her more because we don't want to scare her any more than she is. Like, we don't want her moving out, so. But the house was definitely haunted. We were getting a lot of responses, regular EVPs, spirit box responses, just hearing noises when we were in there that we couldn't explain, stuff like that. And she lives right on a canal. So we believe that could be because the kinetic energy feeds the spirits a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we believe, I think the same thing with it for the Amityville Horror House. I think that, that being on the harbor like that could feed the energy in the house.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing because of all that water.
Right, the kinetic energy, and right, it intensifies everything.
Yeah. So what are you guys able to do in terms of calming your client down?
Well, we reassure them that, we tell them the truth. I mean, like, obviously we have to tell them the truth along with, we just don't, if we get an EVP saying we want to kill you or something like that, we're not gonna show them that EVP. Like stuff like, anything negative or we're not gonna show them that. I mean, unless they're like people that just want answers and stuff like that. Like, if we think that they could take it, we might show them.
But this is definitely one of those times.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those times. We let them know, that, it can't really hurt you. I mean, obviously, that's not really true. There's plenty of claims out there of people getting hurt, but we want to make sure that they don't. We tell them not to feed into it. If you hear something, just kind of ignore it, because the more you notice it and they see that you notice it, the more activity you're gonna get. You know, like because they're trying to get in touch with you. And there's my dog barking again. You know, they're trying to get your attention because we don't really have the answers. We don't know why they're there. You know, obviously sometimes it's people that used to live there. Sometimes it could be, something that was on the property before. You know, it could be native, especially in Long Island. Long Island used to be one big tribe. You know, it was one. You know, Native Americans. This was Native American land. There's still a lot. Every other town, a lot of the towns actually are named after the, like we have Hauppauge, and there's so many different towns that were just named after Indian tribes and Indian words and stuff like that. So there's a lot of Native American ground. So, I mean, people build houses all over them, you know. So we do definitely get a lot of Native Americans.
You said Long Island. Is that also where they have the Cropsey legend as well?
The Cropsey legend?
I'll take that as a no.
I have no idea.
I know there's this thing over in New York where his name was Cropsey, and he was like a custodian or something, and he would take kids. And for the longest time, over by New York, people thought it was just an urban legend, but it actually turned out to be kind of true.
Okay.
Oh, I never heard that myself. It could be true. I don't know every urban legend out here, you know. We do have we're going soon. We do have Camp Hero, which is a couple hours out east, and that's where the Stranger Things was inspired from. The show Stranger Things on Netflix was inspired from there. It's a pain in the butt to get in, and you can get in trouble just like, the other places. Mm-hmm. I think you're allowed to walk around certain parts of it, but there's certain parts. A lot of people believe there's still tunnels down there. They have underground base, and they're still functioning. So I definitely want to get over there.
Dude, that'd be amazing.
I'd like to go there. Road trip?
Road trip, man. I'm telling you.
Let me tell you that's actually it's on Long Island. Long Island's pretty big. It's a 2-hour drive for me to get out there. Because I'm I'm about 35 miles away from Manhattan.
That's right, east. So we're going further east. Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It's beautiful up there. And it's Montauk Point, Montauk.
Yeah.
It's like the most eastern tip of Long Island you can go on the North Shore, on the North Fork. I'm in South Fork. It's where all the celebrities go.
Oh, okay. I keep forgetting how long Long Island actually is.
It's a Long Island.
I know. And I've been there.
Not the tea. Long Island iced tea. Here.
Okay. Okay. I have no idea where you were leading with that one.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me like some of your favorite memories that you've had with each member of your team? Like, what is that one moment that you've had with Phil that you can share?
Right.
Or that one moment that you've had with Kat, Martha, Courtney?
All right. I'll start with Phil. We were, I don't know if it was so much that, there's actually a picture of us with it. We were going, because, when we go upstate New York, there's actually bears and stuff in those woods near the Hinsdale house. So we both brought our machetes, and we took a picture with the machetes, and we were walking around the woods with the, not nervous about the paranormal, but let me tell you, we were sitting out there, and Phil was standing a little bit away from me, and then it started raining, and it was right after Martha had done, we did gave an offering for the natives of tobacco, and it started to rain. It was almost like in a circle. It was like Phil was half in the rain and half, you don't usually hear about that in New York. In Florida, yeah, because they have those little rainstorms. But he literally was like, he walked in and he wasn't even getting wet, and we were getting soaked. Like it was just in this little tiny area, and it sucks that we couldn't get that on film. I mean, I don't think you can get that on film anyway because you can't really. It's pitch dark out, and you can't really see. How do you prove that? But it was crazy because it happened right after that, and Native American spirits are known to be able to change the weather. Because they used to do the rain dances and stuff like that, and the rituals they used to do because they were very close to the spirit world. They used to take like magic mushrooms and stuff. And back in the day, I used to take that stuff too, for different reasons. But not knowing that all the stuff that I was seeing was probably I was seeing into that a different dimension, and I'm not even noticing it. I'm just thinking that I'm hallucinating. And of course, yes, there's probably hallucinations as well. But I used to see some weird stuff, man. I used to see people that weren't there, and even though it wasn't I didn't grow up in the '60s. Let me tell you, the '90s was there was a lot of hallucinogenics around.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I was an angel. Yeah, I love the way he talks about Native, the history, because when normally up in this area we go somewhere, we don't really think about that unless you go somewhere like Mississippi,
right?
The Battle of 1812 and stuff. So I love the way that you guys are doing an offering for the natives, tobacco and whatnot. Dude, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Basically, they did their research.
Yeah.
So, but I do have to say, the image of Phil with a machete. I've stood next to that guy. That is not a pretty picture. But I'll tell you what, he's nice as can be. Oh no, you with those nuggets. You guys see this? He brought the nuggets back.
I gotta have my nuggets.
Brought the nuggets back.
He brought the nuggets.
Got the nuggets.
Yeah. That's okay. I got my French fry here.
It's funny. I'm watching. I have my other phone. I have another cell phone with a different number, and I'm watching it here so I can see the comments. But it's like delayed, so I'm like, see, it's like a couple, like maybe 30 seconds delayed. So I'm like, all of a sudden I'll see myself doing something. I'm like, wait, is that me? And then I realized it was from a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we always forget about like that 30 or 45-second time delay on some of these things. Okay, so that's something that you got with Phil. What about Kat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, where can I start with Kat? We've had some crazy ass stuff go on. Let me think. All right, well, it was one experience again at the Hinsdale house. We have plenty though, but that's my favorite location. I'm sure you guys know that already. I've been there 5 times in the last year and a half, and pretty much going to be going back soon. I'm good friends with the owner, Dan Class. So we were. What happened to me first? I was, because I was the only team member that smoked. It was me, Kat, and Martha. And I walked outside to go smoke a cigarette. It was maybe like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They were like kind of like sleeping before we were going to do like a 3 or 4 o'clock live. And so I'm standing out there smoking a cigarette. I literally heard something run, and like, because you were on like a cement kind of a driveway. I heard something running like at me. And like I'm looking, I'm thinking it's an animal at first, and there's nothing there because it's pitch dark. Like, there's no lights out there. You're in the middle of nowhere. The road to get in there is a dirt road.
Yep.
So I hear this thing running at me. So I'm like, and then when I realized it wasn't an animal, I'm like, all right, forget this. I threw my cigarette down. So I start like kind of like jogging into the house a little bit. It was actually, you could probably put this on one of my scariest parts. So, so I'm just like, all right, I'm good. So I start to go close, so I get into the door and I go to push the door, and then all of a sudden this force pushes me back where I almost like kind of like it actually pushed me. That's how something was pushing at that door. And so then I'm like, I pushed it with all my might, slammed it, locked it. So I run in and everybody's sleeping. Well, not sleeping, but they're like, groggying it off, like kind of like, laying down, look at their phones, kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, guys, something just freaking chased me into the house. I'm like, it freaked me out. And Kat's like, yeah, okay, like whatever. So she goes, and then ended up happening, not the running part, but she went to go close the door. Like she opened the door, went outside, looked around, and then when she went to close the door, that force pushed it back again. It was almost like somebody was trying to like, oh, you forgot me. Like I want to come in too, kind of feeling like, like they kind of like stopped the door real quick and they were pushing it. Like, and there was no wind outside, so it couldn't have been wind. Like, and it was way too forceful for it to be anything else. Like, it was crazy. And I'm trying to think if, you were on the old porch when you went. They now that little porch that you go into in the front door.
Yeah.
Now it's enclosed. Yeah. Now it's a screen door, and they enclosed the whole area there now. So like it's like an inside area now. Before it was all open. You walked in, and then there was the door right there.
Yeah, it was barely enclosed when I saw it. I think they were just getting ready to put on that last piece of the wall when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a force, so we could assume Yoda. Yeah. Star Wars pun.
You guys definitely got to get down here to do it overnight. Maybe we can do it all together.
Dude, I absolutely want to.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And we can make a weekend out. We can go to Wildwood too. Wildwood is freaking crazy too. You did Wildwood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there for 2 nights. That was a great time that I had out there. And until I got there, I never knew that Hinsdale was just miles away.
Yeah, it's only 20-minute drive away, maybe a half hour at the most.
I had
and there's no traffic upstate New York. You're in the middle of nowhere,
which is a good thing.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we covered Phil. We covered Kat. Courtney.
Yeah. Courtney.
What is it like with Courtney being so fresh, so new to the field? How is it like working with her and showing her the ropes?
It's amazing. It's pretty cool getting to see somebody, just starting out. They still get really, surprised when they, get an EVP or or if we're using a spirit box or the REM pod starts going off or one of the motion sensor, she still gets really excited. I mean, we do too, but I've been doing it for so long that, it doesn't I know for 100% fact in my heart and in my mind that the paranormal world is real. I mean, take it that it either be an intelligent spirit or a residual spirit or, I do believe in demonic spirits. Not everybody does. Or elemental spirits, which are, nature spirits, stuff like that, which actually is a big thing at Hinsdale House in the woods. There was one night that I was out there. I think it was actually last December, a little less than a year ago. And I went up there and I was seeing these little blue lights just flying around, maybe 10 or 15 of them all over the woods. They were just floating around. And it's in the middle of December. There's no bugs out. It's freezing cold. There's snow on the ground. And these little things, and I believe that those were probably elementals. They're, wood spirits. And I think, and there's also claims of Pugwudgie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's a Native American, is supposed to protect Native American grounds or burial grounds. And there's been, I think his name Jeff Fent. I think his name was. He's one of the guys who makes this the Geobox. First it was George Brown, but he took it over, and he takes wood. He actually made one for Dan. He took wood from the Hinsdale House and made an actual spirit box through that. That not only is it if I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure. It's not just the radio frequencies, but it also goes by EMF frequencies. It's not just like a regular spirit box, but it's very, there's a long wait for one. It's very hard to get, And the people who get them, they love them so much that they're selling them. You know, like it's not like, I mean, it's the same like with Steve Huff's. Like Steve Huff's equipment is very hard to get and very expensive, but it's worth it. You know, these people like they put their heart and soul. And there was one that he just made recently for somewhat friends with him. You know, Facebook friends. I never met him in person. Oh, I did meet him one time actually, a long time ago. And he made it look like the way the wood was, like the lines in the wood. He made it look, they look like eyes. And then he put the speaker, it looked like a mouth, and it has like the little lines in it. So every time it looks like somebody's talking to you. It's kind of creepy. And yeah, he puts his heart and soul in those things. One day I will get one.
Okay.
But I love my spirit box, though. I love my spirit box.
Yeah. When I was at Wildwood, they had this piece of wood out there that said it was from a hanging tree at the Hinsdale house.
Yeah.
Where is this hanging tree at?
Well, it's not actually. The tree was. I think it was 2003. It was struck by lightning, and so it's not actually a tree anymore. It's on the ground. It's right when you make that turn onto when you come off the road and go onto McMahon Road. You know, come up that long way, and then before you get onto the street that goes to the little gravel road that goes over there. It's right on the. You can't really see it anymore, but it's there. And they've actually gotten many EVPs over there. And with no electricity, they wouldn't even have their phones on them. They would go there with a K2 meter or, you know, a Mel meter or whatever they were using. And they would put it near the tree, and there's still electricity in that tree. Although I don't know if that's from the lightning. You know, I don't know if that would be after 15 years after a lightning strike, there would still be electricity in it. But they, you know, it could be like some kind of residual energy on the tree from it was supposedly a tree that they used to hang people, you know, back in the day when they would do executions, and that, you know, because there would be like, you know, a small little town. Because the Hinsdale property was actually used to be 100 acres. And then when it was bought in, I think it was the 60s, the family, I forget what the family's name was, but they separated it into 10 different properties of 10 acres each. So all the houses that are around the area are all used to be that, you know, from that house, you know, because that house was built in the mid 1800s. So that was like the town hanging tree, you know, it used to be on the property. And that's also the legend of the lady in the white that the people see walking over near the pond. They believe that she was. This is an urban legend, though. It hasn't really been proven. But supposedly she had gotten pregnant by somebody that was going off to, I guess, the Civil War, or maybe even a war before that. I'm not sure. Maybe War 1812. Who knows? And she got pregnant, but the husband wasn't there, so they thought. But she was married, and they thought that she had gotten pregnant. You know, back then they would actually hang women for that, for being pregnant and not being married. You know, and supposedly that's the legend of the the white lady. If I got that correctly, I'm pretty sure that's one of the legends I heard. But I don't put much stock in those kind of legends, though. You know, I did see what I thought was an apparition of a woman that was dressed like in a white gown when I was there last December. I was pulling in the driveway. You know how you pull in? And like as you pull in, your lights are like kind of going towards the house. And I could have swore I saw a lady walking. Kind of like half of her. Like, and it looked like she wasn't glowing, but she looked like she had like a white gown on. And you know, I kind of shrugged it off. I actually got a little nervous because I thought maybe it was a person, you know, on the property because they have problems in Hinsdale House with people going on the property. And so it happens all the time there. So so I kind of like turned the car around just in case it was a person that had to get out of there. So when the team that I was there with, it was actually did a tour at the Wildwood Sanitarium. And I'm really good friends with the guy who did the tour, and he's one of the guys who opens up the Hinsdale House for people coming that were going to do overnights. my friend Thomas Edward from Buffalo Niagara Paranormal. And so I'm waiting for him, and one of his teammates showed up maybe after a half hour of me being there by myself in the middle of nowhere at 2 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't get into the house yet, and there was snow on the ground. It just snowed recently. And so he goes, all right, let's go look to see. I told him what happened. He said, let's go look to see if, we could, maybe it was a deer or something, or maybe there was, because there was people that live around that area. So maybe it was just somebody walking around because they didn't think anybody was going to be here tonight. So we had to go look. There was no footprints, no animal prints or people prints, human footprints in the snow. And it just snowed. Like it wasn't snowing at the moment. So if there had been somebody there or an animal, there would have been footprints in the fresh snow. So I don't know honestly, I don't know what I saw. It's kind of creepy. No, but obviously I don't ever put stock into stuff like that. I don't really. We go by facts. Like we go to police reports. We go town hall. I mean, I do believe that there are, like when you have an urban legend or a myth, there is some truth to it. But it's just like when you tell a story to somebody. If I tell you the story, and then you tell somebody else the story, and then that person tells the story, then that person tells the story. After 5 or 6 times, the story changes, So after 100, 150 years, obviously the story is not going to be exactly the same as what actually happened. But there is some truth to it, I believe, in most of them,
Yeah, and that's what I think I love about things like folklore and urban legends is just how the stories have come about. Like you were saying, Lady in White. I mean, that is such a great urban legend right there in itself.
Yes, it is. It actually kind of reminds me of Resurrection Mary.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that story, haven't you?
Is that the one where she hitchhikes on a road, and then you pick her up, and she has you drop you off at the cemetery, kind of thing?
Yep.
Yeah, we actually have one near us too.
Yeah.
Very similar. Name is Mary and everything. They even know where her grave is, like supposedly. Oh, wow. And it's actually Sweet Hollow Road or Mount Misery Road. But it's a little different. They don't pick her up. This one, she jumps in front of your car. She supposedly jumps in front of your car and tries to make you crash, kind of thing. And
yeah,
same way.
Yeah, I think every remember that particular.
I think every state has their own Mary story.
They do. It's almost like a crybaby bridge. I think it's called. I think every state has one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here in Indiana, we have the Legend of Wheelchair Mary.
What?
It's actually down in Decatur, a place. I don't know what it was before, but it's right now the Boys and Girls Club. But whatever building that used to be there before, I know I'm not going to tell that story, right? It's been so long since I've heard it. But basically, yeah, chicken nuggets.
Yes, Stephen, chicken nugget.
But basically, you walk down the halls of the Boys and Girls Club, and you'll see this woman in a wheelchair, and she'll just yell at you and scream at you to get out of the building. And they dubbed her Wheelchair Mary. Yeah. Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what happened. My shit started bugging out. So hold on, let me try to see if I can fix this. All right, we're back. We're better. 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 Why is it Let me go out real quick. Oh, wait. Is that better? All right. Can you guys hear me now? What the heck happened? You guys?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Now I can hear you.
Somehow I migrate.
Dude, I'm just over here.
And you want me? I don't know any of this.
It was weird. It kicked me off for a second, and then it maybe go back to the original screen where you had to come into the live stream.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm like trying to hit back. I'm like, oh crap! I'm like, they're probably wondering where the heck I went. And then it just started echoing like crazy.
We heard that echo.
That was nuts. It was like screeching in my ear too.
Yeah, dude.
It was
So somehow we're hearing the feedback. A second later.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's back to normal. There's always some kind of technical difference. Technology sucks. They say we're so technologized, but everything freaking sucks.
Yeah.
I blame it on
me. Wow. Did you turn your phone off? Because I put something onto your side. Whatever you did, everything. Whatever it was.
Well, I mean, I have my other phone here, but it's completely, the volume's all off, so there shouldn't be any feedback from it. That's why I moved it to see if maybe that was it, but it's still right there, so I don't think that was what it was.
I'm going to. Okay, how are we now?
That's good.
Yeah, it's still here.
Still here.
Not on one.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you fine. Oh, okay.
You know what?
We were having
that same issue when we were testing everything. And we think that if he had headphones, it wouldn't have. Okay, let's move on. So every team is some I've seen have upwards of more than 30 people. I've seen teams where they have just two people. What do you think would be a good number for a team to have, and what can there be too many people on a team?
Good amount. You need people, a lot of people. I mean, our team, I've been learning a little bit more about the audio, how to put it out and put it on videos and stuff, because Kat does a lot of that, and Phil did a lot of that before, he had to take a little break from everything. But, he's still on the team and everything. We still talk to him all the time. He's still, in all our chats and everything. You guys are muted.
Yeah, I actually
Okay. So, I think what we have is pretty good, but we have 5. We have everybody has their own different qualities. Like I'm the equipment guy. I have a lot of equipment. I like to test it out, do all scientific research. Kat, obviously she's sensitive. I mean, I believe we're all sensitive to it, but she's, much more. She's been happening since she was a little kid. Martha's very good with the clients, and she also gets a lot of activity around her. She gets touched a lot and stuff like that. And Courtney is, obviously she's our social media rep, kind of, moderator. Well, she's an admin, but and she just recently started investigating, so now she's an investigator. So we don't want too many people, obviously, because for the rules that we have is kind of hard. Like, you have to be a Christian and stuff like that. And not we work with other teams. We work with Jason and Dawn from Beyond the Graves, and they're I mean, I don't know what Jason is, but I know Dawn is a pagan, for her family, and she does her prayers and her rituals and stuff like that. And we work with them. We just don't participate in them. And the same thing with her. She works with us, and she doesn't participate in what we do. And but we could all work. We're not like that. We don't try to push our faith on anybody. It's just sometimes a lot of people like like I go to a Bible study every Thursday night, and my friends always call me the necromancer, and they're like, they think it's completely against the Bible. But I try to show them that there's parts in the Bible where it shows you, about discerning spirits, and they believe that a lot of Christians, believe that there's either angels or demons out there. That there are no human spirits, that they're already either in heaven or hell. They don't realize that spirits get stuck; they can't cross over. Like whatever your beliefs are, there are even other religions believe that the spirits are trapped, and then, like, some are crossed over. Like, there's a difference, and because like you get all the time. I mean, I could show you probably like 30 EVPs that we have that spirits are saying, "Help me," like, "Help me, I'm trapped." We have one that actually was a really creepy one from Kings Park Psychiatric Hospital near our house. And we were in the basement. Well, I don't know if it was before we went in the basement, actually. And it said, "I'm in the void." Clear as day. Class A EVP. I'm in the void. And that's like, it makes my mind crazy, because I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? What's the void? So, but too many people, I guess, I think it gets confusing. Like, if some people only want to do it part-time. Not everybody's completely into the paranormal. Some people just want to be on a team. They say they're on a team. They just want to go to the investigation. They want nothing to do with the evidence. They want nothing to do with the social media part, because it obviously, you guys know, you guys run a page. It takes a lot, a lot of your time up, communicating with people. You got people asking you questions all the time. People reaching out, you know.
Yeah, I can definitely that can be problematic. We had people not too much of any.
Yep.
It always worked out.
And I'm a Christian and an ordained minister. And people are like, well, how can you still be going on ghost hunting? And guys, I don't. Too many other Christians what we do, but there's a good behind it.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Oh, I was saying how Christianity
yeah.
Because I've had people question my faith because of the.
Well, I mean, if they're Christians, we're not supposed to judge, so I don't know how good of Christians they are. You know, that's I mean, we're all I've worked with witches before. I mean, I'm not going to practice their ways, and I'm not going to push my faith on them or say you're damned to hell or something like that because I don't believe. I don't know. We don't really know what's going to happen. I only have faith that what I believe in. I don't really know what's going to happen after death. I just have faith. For me, I have faith in Jesus. Like that's just how I believe it. I don't know if I'm right and they're wrong. I'm not gonna go into that. It's not my. I don't judge anybody. If somebody asks me and wants to know about it, I believe that God leads me to people, and that are going to ask me. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, you have to believe in this because this is the only way. I mean, I might believe that, but that doesn't mean that I'm right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to push my faith on anybody else. So.
Yeah, I work with people of different faiths. Not only can you learn, but show that you can connect together no matter what you believe.
I'm sorry, you guys are like breaking up a little bit.
Somehow I'm here.
Okay. Can you hear us? Okay. So we should ask questions while he's muted and mute back because there's feedback and whatnot.
Yeah, there is. Okay. Oh boy.
Wow.
This is one hell of a show
Dude,
tonight.
it is. Wasn't this supposed to happen like last week when it's Halloween and all of those things are supposed to happen then?
You would think so.
Because then we can blame it on spirits and all that crazy stuff.
Well, we can still blame it on the spirits, but I mean, after all, it is what we deal in. So, okay. I have heard Kat talk about this numerous times that you guys have a contract for team members. Would you be able to explain some of the rules that you guys have and what you guys are expecting from potential team members, or what they can expect from you guys?
Yeah. We based a little bit off of it, like you're not allowed to use drugs and stuff like that. You have to have your own. You have to have your own transportation to and from the investigations. All the evidence that we're doing evidence for Trinity is supposed, usually goes either Phil or Cat because they're the ones that do most of the evidence. I mean, I do some of it. I'm getting better and better at it. We expect obviously like everybody to show up when we're doing a residential. I mean, when we go to like the Hinsdale house and other places like that, we don't expect everybody to, if they can't come, they can't come. But when we're doing a residential, we expect everybody to come if they can. Obviously, life is life and stuff comes up, But, like we expect everybody to be, nice to the clients, just I don't know. It's pretty much it. Like I can't really go into it too much because I don't want to. It's been a while since I signed that contract, but it's pretty much just a contract saying certain things. So that way, if you do so, if I come, say I started drinking again, and I come to an investigation drunk, this way they could say, hey, listen, you're not allowed to do that, and then obviously that was not going to happen for me, but I'm just saying like stuff like that. Like we have rules so that they're, like we don't have to constantly like, you want people that are going to be on the same page as you. You don't want to go somewhere and then they start doing something that, we don't believe in. Like, especially because, especially we have a new, person that started investigating, but Courtney's wonderful. She's very respectful. She, you know, she's she's only been, I think, on one residential with us. She's working on. She's actually the one's in contact with the client a lot, so she does a lot of that work. She went to that one cemetery, was her first investigation, and she went to the Conjuring House, and she did wonderful. She wasn't scared. She asked good questions. She wasn't like, what's the weather like? Like she wasn't like asking dumb questions. We want to get to the bottom of what's going on. Like even like when we're going to a regular haunted place, we want to see why they're there. We want to see how many spirits are there. We want to see, we want answers. We want scientific answers. We will eventually want to be able to, and that's why we're big on para-unity. We want to work together because we don't think we're better than anybody. We want to learn. I've learned so much from other groups. I've learned stuff from you guys. I've learned stuff from Beyond the Grave. I've learned stuff from teams I never even met that I watched their videos on YouTube. Because I'm more of a person that likes to watch stuff on like Facebook or YouTube. I want to watch actual investigations. I don't want to watch, not that I don't watch like ghost hunters and stuff like that. I do watch them once in a while. But, that's more of like a productive, like they're investigating. There's like 10 other people in the room that you don't see, like with cameras and audio stuff, and you don't see them, but they're there. And like, I feel like the spirits sometimes, they might not want to give you out, all the evidence, and then they get pressured on to put out evidence because, people don't want to watch a show where they're just sitting there asking questions and not getting any answers. So, so I like to watch, real investigations. I want to see real evidence. I want to, and I won't ever be disrespectful. If I think somebody's totally bullshitting it, I'll just move on. I just don't say anything. It's not my place to do. Or even if they just think it's evidence and it's not, like I would say, like I might say, like, hey, maybe I'll go to them, on the side, or I'll message, especially if it's friends of mine. I'll message them on the side, like, hey, this might be this. Maybe you want to look at it, but I'm not going to embarrass them on social media about it. That's not my place. Because there really is no experts in our field yet. So, and then like with the science part, like I think that we have to change how we do it. Like it's not going to be non-physical science is not the same as physical science, and I believe that we have to somehow learn a kind of a new science to prove non-physical entities. I mean, even Nikola Tesla said the day that we start researching non-physical, phenomenon, we're going to go in 10 years, we're going to go higher than we've done in the last 250 years. This was Nikola Tesla, like one of the greatest scientists minds of our time. Well, not our time. He was dead a long time ago, but but of the 20th century, he's one of the greatest minds, along with Albert Einstein. And even them, I've heard them say, and I've read a lot of stuff. I'm big into science, and I've read a lot of stuff, and they believed in spirits and all that stuff like that. They believed in all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely big on new way of uh, doing things, like what you were talking about, trying out different ideas. And in fact, that's actually the kind of direction that this particular team is kind of moving forward to. Because tomorrow night, when we do the Crown Point Jail, we're going to be trying a couple of different experiments that I've actually learned from John Griffin of UNI Research. We already put that to test a couple of weeks ago, and I'm gonna try to do that on a even bigger scale tomorrow night. But real quick, we forgot somebody, Chris. Um, yeah, we forgot Martha.
You forgot.
She was actually just in this chat room, chatting away with people, and we forgot to talk about your memories with her. We've already covered Courtney, already covered Kat, Phil, but we haven't touched on Martha yet.
You haven't. So.
And Martha, if you are still here, we are sorry, but we are getting to you right now.
I blame it on Jeremy, though.
All right, I have two good memories with Martha. One of them was we were at a local place. It's called Mount Misery Road, or we went into the woods. It was West Hills Road. Kat had gotten a weird message from somebody she didn't know in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, telling us about this Jack in the Box, and that him and his daughter found it. I don't actually believe the story he told us. I believe he had something to do with this, and that it was in this object we believe was definitely haunted. We've got a lot of activity around it. We left it where it is for now until we can properly remove it. We don't want to leave it there because we don't know what's attached to it. And because I believe that there's hundreds of spirits in these woods. We've gotten so much activity. We've gotten actual names of people that were known to bodies have been found there. We've gotten their names on EVPs and stuff like that, where we didn't know at the time until we did research after, and then we're like, holy crap, this is actual person. Maybe this could have been from like 500 years ago, but this is something that happened, 5-10 years ago, and one of them maybe 30 or 40 years ago. Actually, I think it was longer than that, like 45 years ago, some in the 70s. And these were actual people where we got the names and some last names. I'm not going to mention names because we don't do that, but so we went. So this guy gave us these spotty directions, and we were looking, and it's pretty much summertime. It's like spring, summer at that time. So we're walking through the woods and thorns looking for this Jack in the Box, and we cannot find it at all. And we just had a wonderful time looking though at the time. We were all tired though. We literally were looking for like an hour and a half, and then one second I was like, oh, let's look over here, and we ended up walking and finding it because they had given us directions that there was an arrow inside of a tree, which we're like, what do you mean there's an arrow inside of the tree? So then we went and we ended up finding it, and then we ended up doing an investigation, and we got a lot of activity. Which next time you guys come, we'll bring you over there to those woods are very, very haunted. It's one of the biggest. That's where the Mary story is from too, our Mary story. And then there was another time with Martha where we were at the Hinsdale house. Now I'm sitting there, and she's sleeping, and Kat's sleeping, and I'm sitting there, and I hear whispering, like straight up whispering, but I can't understand it at all. But it's loud. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, all right, that has to be her like talking in her sleep or something. So all of a sudden, Kat wakes up, and she's closer to her because I'm across on the other couch across the room, and Kat's like sleeping next to her. So she wakes up and she's like, Chris, do you hear that? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I thought it was Martha talking, but I could see her like breathing at the same time as the talking's happening. So it was like, what is that whispering? And we actually got it on recording. She ended up putting a recorder on Kat, and we heard this whispering for over 5 minutes, probably longer, probably like 10 minutes. And then Martha actually woke up the next morning. I don't know if she noticed it right away, but it was either she noticed it then or when she got home. She had like fingerprint marks, like black and blues on her arm. And this was actually the same night we did I don't know if it was that same night. I think it was the second time we went. But so I mean, like, this was crazy. I mean, this was straight up like I've never heard that before. Like, I've heard whispering, I've heard DVPs, direct voice phenomenon, disembodied voices, but I've never heard like whispering. It sounded like it was in a completely different language, and it almost sounded ritual, like they were like casting a spell or something like that. But it was like, at first I was like, all right, maybe it's just her breathing and I'm hearing it, but it literally sounded like somebody talking. And Kat and me both heard it, and we did get it on recording. She probably got a good 5 minutes of recording of that, which we've been working on a little bit of a documentary, so we haven't put a lot of the evidence out. But I mean, we have, I can't even explain how many EVPs we have from there. So many different phenomena, so that house is one of the most haunted houses I've ever been to. I mean, I've been to places that are just as haunted, but that's the most haunted house I've ever been to. It's just so much. You can't, you go out, it's like, if you get scared of the inside, you run on the outside. The outside is just as haunted as the inside, if not more. It's like the whole property. It's just like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's like some kind of portal or something there that, or some reason why why there's so much activity there. It's just nuts. I mean, we've been to places where we might get a little bit of activity and we don't get a lot. Every time we go to Hinsdale House, we're getting evidence. Like, we know what's going to happen. Like, we just, and now that they have this camera system in Hinsdale House, it's crazy. The audio is just good as a recorder on the camera, and it's all night vision. And during the day, it's obviously a regular camera. It switches back and forth, and so, and it doesn't cost that much. It's a little extra, and you get 5 cameras of 15 hours on each camera. So you don't even have to bring any cameras, equipment. You don't have to bring any, or I mean, we still use our EVP recorders and stuff like that because we want, after we do sessions and stuff. But when we go to a place, we put a recorder, leave a recorder the whole time. We don't even have to do that in this place. I mean, the EVPs are crystal clear on it. Oh, I mean, obviously, unless it's. But let me tell you, this house is just crazy, man. There was actually something with the ghost finders that just happened on Halloween, a couple of nights before Halloween, and one of the guys there got thrown against the wall. They were hearing like crazy voices and stuff like that. But it was definitely that was a crazy episode. Yep. That was my experience with Martha. We have had plenty of them though. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. And I know you're talking about all these memories with your teammates, but for myself, I want to know your favorite memory. A place that you love to absolutely go. I mean, we all have that one place where it's like, man, I can't wait. Right now, for me, it's tomorrow night. Crown Point has been Crown Point has been my favorite, and just because of the size and stuff of it. But I want to know what yours is, man. Where is that one place that
I can almost bet you what that one's going to be.
I want to know what it is?
all right, obviously I talk a lot about Hinsdale House, and that is definitely my favorite location. But if we're gonna go closer to me, it's actually I have to say if it's a toss up between Kings Park Psychiatric Hospital, which is it makes Waverly Hills look like a tiny little building. That's how big it is. Like and it's not just one building. It is like there's one building that's like 13 stories and it's humongous. There's another building that's about 4 stories and it's pretty big. And there's over 60 abandoned buildings there. And almost every building I've ever been in had activity in it. Where you hear like disembodied footsteps, you hear talking. I was there with Leve and another guy, Tommy Hamilton. I had taken them there because he came back from Lockport, and Levy lives up in Manhattan, over in the city. And he came out here, and we literally were in the tunnels. There's tunnels that connect all the buildings, and we literally heard a scream come from like in the tunnel, and we investigated. There was nobody else in the building, and that place is crazy. But I don't know, Letchworth, where I'm going tomorrow, it has like a place in my heart. I don't know what it is. I feel connected to the place. Um, Anytime I go there, it's just I have a great time. Last time we went, we had some crazy activity though, man. I don't think because usually we go to the hospital, the hospital building where it has the morgue and stuff. This time we went, not that we haven't before, but this time we went into the dormitory because I had gotten the EVP there last June. I was watching my camera and I got an EVP when I was by myself in one of the dormitories, and it said "Help me." So I wanted to go and see if the spirit needed help. And we went in there and we were just getting crazy responses. There was one time when I heard a noise outside. I wanted to make sure because you can get in trouble for being in the building. So I wanted to make sure there was nobody outside, trying to come in or something. So when I walked out of the room for a minute and Kat was still on the live, I came back and we had the spirit box going. And I says, "Hey, I'm back. Did you miss me?" And it literally said, "What's up?"
Hi, Kat. Hi, Bev.
Bev?
Well, I told you to that one. Hi, Bev.
That dude, that is amazing. And the fact that you just said it, I mean,
You have my attention. Everybody knows I love Waverly Hills.
I know.
I just love big places in general, but when you tell me that this makes Waverly Hills look small, I'm going.
And I'm just, I still have not had the chance to do Waverly, knowing,
So close.
I know, dude, I know. And I gotta give a shout out to my buddy. Chris, you were talking about Tesla. My buddy Chris Deedle, who I love. He talks a lot. He is on the same level as you with Tesla and all them guys. He's an amazing guy, and he's really smart. I don't know how, but he really is. So it's just, yeah, absolutely crazy, man.
Yes, it is. Okay, I there's one final at least for me, one final question that I would like to ask you, Chris, and again, it goes along with your team and individuals, and I guess really it can apply to any team and individual out
Right.
there. What would you say are the keys to team success and individual goals, and basically make them kind of intertwine with each other?
Okay. Obviously, you're always going to have different personalities when you're on a team. I think it works well is that, you don't just meet up when you go onto an investigation. You guys talk a lot, you communicate a lot. You become friends, you become a family. And you need different skill sets. Like my skill set is, obviously equipment. I have a lot of experience. Kat has a lot of experience. And she's good with, work, doing audio and that kind of stuff. I'm getting better at that. Martha's very good at, she gets a lot of activity around her. She's been having a lot of spiritual experiences. She doesn't get scared. She's very on point. She's very good with the clients. She's very good at calming them down. And Courtney, always going to get better. She seems to be a great investigator. She asks the right questions. She doesn't get scared. And I love that she still has that little glit in her eye when she gets that EVP or that response, or like here's a knock on the wall, or a response or something like that. And then she does her social media. She's awesome at that. Like we probably wouldn't be so popular if it wasn't for Courtney, like, our team. And it intertwines is that, the family part is that we all work well together. We have a relationship outside of the investigating. I mean, I consider Kat one of my best friends. We talk on the phone at least every other day, sometimes every day. I mean, and sometimes we'll go a couple days without, but we're always talking. We're always, going, we're a drama-free team. We don't, get involved in any drama. We just kind of we just work well together. I don't know. For me, it's almost like a God thing. Like I got led to this team, like, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's how I feel. I mean, I grew up in a house that was like crazy haunting, like, doors opening up by themselves, knocking, pounding, whispering, uh, being pushed, held down in bed. I can't even. It's so many experiences. I even had something when I was a kid where I would see this little gray thing, and the only way I can explain it is what people. I can't say it's an alien, but it was explained like it looks like what people explain with the big black eyes and the small mouth and the little gray, like there was a gray figure. And what happens was I would see it in my window, and my window was on the second floor of my grandfather's house. This is actually how the paranormal stuff started, and I don't know what it was, and it happened for years, and I nobody else saw it, and I would get frozen just for probably maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and then it would just release, and then it would go away. And I'd say maybe around 8 to maybe the age of 13, and then it stopped. Probably because I started paying attention more to girls and stuff like that. But started hanging out with my friends more, and I kind of got desensitized to it a little bit more. And then later on in years, now I'm learning that I'm a lot more sensitive to paranormal than I probably was when I was a kid. But people know my story. I was an alcoholic, and I did a lot of drinking. And so I think that for many years I was, kind of like a thrill seeker doing the paranormal. I was, an explorer. I mean, I was straight up reading books and doing a lot of research and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was pretty much how it was, man. You know, and why I got into the field. And I love my team, Trinity Paranormal. I love you guys. I love all the people that follow us. And yeah, that's it.
Well, I can definitely tell you, for me personally, I just love all of you guys. Um, being able to converse with you, that I've been fortunate enough to call you guys dear friends, really. And I actually consider it a privilege and an honor that I was able to go out there and meet up with almost all of you. Um, yeah, but you had things going on at that particular time that you couldn't exactly get away, and that happens. It does happen.
It really does.
Does it suck? Absolutely. But like I was telling you, I think it was the day that I was leaving town. We will meet up eventually. I do plan on coming back to Long Island, hopefully within the next year. I'm hoping, and maybe this time I won't be alone.
Dude, you know me. I mean, I'm thankful, for these guys. I mean, Chris is always giving me props on Facebook. I know Kat does and Courtney does, and they haven't even met me. For all they know, I could be this little jerk, but they, I am, but they do, man, and it's amazing. I mean, to be like Chris said, to be blessed. I mean, and I think that's what it is. I think God brings certain people in your life, uh, good to lead you away. I mean, you brought me back out of retirement to get back into this thing. I mean,
Well, look how long it took.
It took a while, but and I'm thankful. We got this going. We got investigations going. I'm blessed and I'm thankful every day. To have people like you and Trinity to always be by my side, and they got the team from Pond and Brett and Emma. I mean, just so many people, dude. It is absolutely amazing.
And I am very fortunate to have Trinity as part of the Things Network.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude. You guys have been one of the most enthusiastic teams in the network. Just real.
Kat said, "You seen the Amityville house?"
I did.
That's
literally right in front of that house.
I want to go there.
Yeah, she even snuck a picture of me.
So Kat needs to take me to go see Amityville with Chris, and then me and Chris, we gotta go get some pizza, brother.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, I can't. I don't know. I don't like to say it because New York pizza is just the best. I mean, Chicago pizza. I've had Chicago pizza. I've never been to Chicago, but I've had, similar pizza. But New York pizza is just. I don't know what it is. I think it has something to do with the water, and like something to do with the. Same thing with the bagels. We have like the best bagels, especially on Long Island. Long Island has the best bagels. But if you go into Manhattan, you go to one of those old brick oven pizzas. I don't know what it is. It's funny. I went to Vegas and I went to the New York hotel in Vegas, and I was like, all right, maybe they somehow get the recipe from New York. I went there. I literally was like, I had to spit it out. Like I went to the table. I'm like, what is this? It did not taste like pizza. It tasted like Elio's frozen pizza. Like that's what it tasted like. I'm like, did you guys just pull that out of a box or something, or did you make it? But then I started to realize that it's just how it is. I even heard that people that have had pizza in Italy, that it's not as good as New York pizza. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I think it has something to do with the water system. Probably all that crap that they put in our water, all the fluoride makes it taste good.
Dude, I've had Chicago, okay, and Chicago's pretty good, but like I said, I'm ready for some New York
Yeah.
style pizza, man. You know,
I've never had Chicago pizza, but I've had New York pizza, and I've had what he was talking about, the that brick oven thing.
the brick oven pizza.
Oh man,
Ball.
it was. And I could not believe it. The pizza was literally the size of this laptop sitting in front of me. Just got one slice.
One slice.
Yeah.
Dude, I eat that all day long.
Remember that pizza from a couple weeks ago in
Yeah.
Kokomo?
The
It was
20
like that.
It was like a 20-incher, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm down.
This one slice that I had was about a quarter size of that. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Off cat. It was a big pizza.
Dude, I know. If it's that big, dude, I can eat it like a new piece.
Yeah. But as far as the water in New York, I can't say anything to that because whenever I go on my road trips, I always take like 3 big packs of bottled water with me. So I can't say anything about the New York City water.
Right.
I don't drink New York faucet water though. I even have a thing like I don't like to drink Poland Spring. I drink that stuff that has the hard plastic, so it doesn't melt into the water, the particles and stuff. I'm in and out of health, being a health nut. I drink like the pH level 7 or above. Sometimes, I think it's Essentia water. I'm sure you guys have it too, where it's 9.5 pH level, because our bodies are higher pH. No fluoride or anything like that. Yeah, I drink that stuff too. I drink diet though, because that's gonna give me cancer instead of getting fat.
What did you do?
I don't know. I'm drinking this because I'm short, okay, and skinny, and I'm old. I am old.
Yeah, he's older than me. He doesn't look like it, but he is actually older than I am.
It's the gray in the beard, right? It is like everybody looks at me like I'm only, I'm 41, but I've had gray hair and it's in my hair too. But since I've been 17, it's actually my color hair. I have a salt and pepper look. So like I'm so used to it. I don't even dye it or anything like that. It's not anything to do with being old. It's just for me, like just my color hair. I'm salt and pepper or whatever. My girl my girl seems to love it though.
So that's good. Let's see. I found my first gray hair when I was 24. Oh yeah, I see all that. I found my first gray hair when I was 24, and I think I was probably about 30 when I started getting this. And I I got some people comparing me to Grizzly Adams and Mick Foley, and I'm actually debating on shaving this off.
Dude, you would make a good mankind, Mick Foley. Absolutely, bro. I don't have that problem. I'm almost 47, almost to 50. So, yeah, I think I hold my age.
So anyway, we are 10 minutes till 9. Chris, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to leave us
Final thoughts. I love you guys. I can't wait till you guys come out to New York and I can show you around and get you some really good pizza and some good bagels because you never had a bagel like a Long Island bagel. Um, I love my team. I'm very into para unity. I support you guys. You guys see, I support a lot of other people. I support, I share everybody's stuff all through. I got to be on like 250 groups at this point, and I admin for like 10 groups, so something like that, like 8 groups. Um, I love working with other teams. I love learning from other teams, different styles and stuff like that. I mean, pretty much everybody on this podcast probably knows our team, so I'm not gonna, say, hey, come follow my page or anything like that. But anybody has any questions, they can always ask us, ask you guys. Even if I don't know the question, I will tell you the truth if I don't know anything. Like, there are no experts. I mean, we do consider ourselves professional, but not professional investigators, professional where, our demeanor is professional. Like, we act professional. Like, we're not fooling around. We're not like, messing around with, provoking spirits and stuff like that. We're very professional with our clients. Yeah, of course, if we go to, like, when we were at the Shanley Hotel, with our friends from Beyond the Graves, we fooled around, joking around with each other and stuff like that. We do like to do that sometimes. We like to, as we're doing our spirit box or EVP session, we like to, kind of talk to each other and see if the spirits want to communicate. Like, we'll play cards and stuff like that, which I actually learned from Beyond the Graves. I would never have thought to do something like that, or like play music. Like if you know that most of the spirits that are there are from this period of time, like say you're at Gettysburg, you start playing taps or something like that, or old Revolutionary War songs and stuff like that. So. And my last thought is just I love my team. I feel like it was God sent me, finding them and them finding me. And I hope to work with you guys soon. I hope to work with anybody else. I love working with other people, learning new things. I learn stuff new every day just from going on Facebook and watching other people's investigations. I learn stuff that works, stuff that doesn't. And yeah, that's my last thought.
Wow.
We definitely want to thank you for being on this show, Chris. I've also sent you a little message if you can get that. Well, we're going to go ahead and take you off the stream here for a minute. We'll come right back to you. Okay. All right. Wow,
Dude, Trinity Paranormal is just amazing, dude. I mean, we've had two guests, Courtney and now Chris. Dude.
And they both hit it out.
And they both, the more and more people we have on here, for myself, the kind of less intellectual I feel in the paranormal field. And that's an honest statement. I mean, so many people on their knowledge, especially, like I said, with Courtney. I mean, even Courtney and Chris, dude, I'm just like, I get baffled, man. But, man, it was awesome.
Even for me, I get baffled talking with people. I really do. As long as I've been doing this, but I'm telling you, it's like each week it gets better and better and better. It really does. And with Chris, I really am looking forward to working with him. Anyway,
thank you guys.
Yeah,
for everything. We appreciate it.
And sorry for all the technical difficulties.
Yeah, we apologize. We got a show coming up right after us. If you want to say
that's right. It is called What the Frick? WT Frick. And the host is Emily Menthouse. She'll be on from 9 to 10. Brand new show. Her first show is tonight. So stay put and watch that. And meanwhile, we'll be back here next week with some special guests.
Yes.
Stay tuned. So remember, Paranormal will be on.
Man, we got it covered. Have a good night, everybody.